Hello, greetings. This is Gilles. I want to welcome you. I wanted to speak briefly about the dualistic nature of the universe today. For life is one. For we know we can understand that life is one. Everything is made from God. For those who believe. But in a sense, from the in the cosmic realm, for there are many all that we see in truth, whether it is within ourselves or outside of us, is multidimensional. There are countless parallel realities and parallel worlds that are only visible if we tune in, if we match the frequency of those things. But we in the physical realm, we can see that it is a vast domain. As we look through the telescope, we can see the galaxies, and there's so much going on, and all of it is created in the universe through the basis of duality, of polarity, which is the harmonization between the yin and the yang, the dark and the light, the cold and the warm, the feminine and the masculine. Everything from the structure of the atom to the great galaxies, everything is based on the coming together and the harmonization of those two principles, with the feminine going around the masculine, as the proton and the electron, for instance. And so we were created in the image of God, and so this duality is also existing within us. And so on the highest plane, all this duality has been resolved right before the start. As Plato used to say, the universe always existed in this perfect eternal form. We're just, but as we descend, we go through the world of experience and transitional forms. But on the highest plane, there is the Tao, the yin and the yang is perfectly integrated, and there will never be conflict between the yin and the yang within the nature of God. But for us, we need to return to Plato. There is this book called The Banquet. It's a very small book, but very intuitive, let's say, that one of the philosophers, many philosophers are gathering together to discuss about the nature of love, and one of the philosophers says that the soul was whole at first. Human beings were whole, but the gods were afraid, so they separated the soul in two. They split the soul in two, as the ba and the ka, or in Jewish tradition as well. There is this notion of separation of the soul, and so we've been looking for that other part of ourselves in the outside world, but it already exists within. For we are very complex beings, and but as we came down here, we made this contract of forget who we are, to forget that we are divine, eternal soul, and so we invented this temporary identity that we call the ego. The ego is the false self, is the false me, is the devil, is the dark part of ourself. When the soul is the light part, this is connected to God. God is our true self. The soul is our true self. If we discover our soul, we are discovering God. For they are always eternally one. And so, for Plato explained that the soul has two parts, the light part and the dark part. When the dark part is dominant, we become slave of ourselves, we become intemperate. But when the light part is dominant within ourselves, we become temperate and we become master of ourselves. And this is the point, to get integrated. From an Eastern perspective, there was a philosopher that was called Plotin, in the 3rd century, great philosopher. He knew that everything was one. Everything came from God, and God was only good. But he could not reconcile himself with the idea that darkness could exist in the world. If God is all good, how can pain and suffering be existing, as everything comes from God? But in the Truth by God, the Creator explains that God created this ignorance is necessary for the evolution of the universe. So it is part of the process of evolution to address all this darkness in order to reconcile, from an Eastern esoteric point of view. We have this physical body, we have a mental body that's connected to the ego mainly, and we have the emotional body that is the key to the higher planes, when our emotion will lead us naturally to the higher planes. And we have this astral body. For we are very complex beings. We have the 12 senses, the 6 senses, and their manifestation. And those are like children that we need to also align. But in essence, we need to align the body of desires, the astral body, with our soul. Once the astral body, the body of desire, is fully aligned with the will of God, and has bring all the senses to this, so they can all work in the flow of the oneness, this love, this light, then there is the coming together in the navel region of the astral body, the immortal, and the soul. And so they come together, they meet. It's a very poetic meeting, beautiful, a very divine relationship, and then they fuse and they becoming one, and then they dissolve, and we become spiritual beings. We ascend and we complete our realm, our cycle in the realm of matter. So it is. We need to give more power to our soul than to our ego, to our heart than our critical mind. So it is all about this process of understanding, integrating, and not being in anger in relationship to our ego as much as possible. We wanna integrate it, but we need to make deals. We have to deal so that the soul can become more and more powerful within us. And we have to tune into love in order to make our prayer come true. Because if we come from lack, it is the prayer, the energy doesn't really go. So the idea is to find a way to think of something we love, or someone we love, or a situation that we love, and from there we breathe, we integrate this love, and from there we pray. From love, rather than being as much as possible. I'm going to pull a few cards to just wanted to come and say hello. The soul also, I wanted to say, the soul essentially communicate to us through the third eye, through the realm of vision. And so do always keep your eyes open. And so understand we are created at the image of God. So God has this pure polarity, duality. Everything that is, it doesn't mean that God has a form like us. It does not have form. He's infinite, but is. But we all the potential, God has put all his potential within each and every one of us, as well as his own spirit. So we want to submit to the guidance of our own spirit. And I'm going to pull a few cards. So the situation in the past is the Eli, it's the devil, it's the ego, it's all the materialism. It's actually the Eli. It assists us. The ego is the revelator of our divinity. As it lets go of the power, the divinity can be revealed. Right now, the situation is abundance. It is this great flow of abundance. So we want to be grateful for this abundance, and we'll be wise in the administration of this abundance. It can be material, spiritual. Abundance on all levels, the ability to be free, to do anything we want. From even money is just a way to clear the past, so we can do things with our life. It's just a means. It's not something we're going to take with us after our life is over. It's something we just utilize. It's an energy, and what comes to us in the near future is the guardian. It's a mystical experience that will come to us. So be open to initiation. Right now we're still in the fighting in the survival. The whole world is fighting for survival. We're still based on animal instinct, rather than we're going to have to change this society in order to move beyond the survival. It's beyond in order for everybody to find the comfort and security where they can become their own creative self. But it's a model of society that we're passing through. We ask the company of heaven, we authorize the whole company of heaven. Every day we want to spend 10 minutes around noon to do that, to ask the company of heaven to send our love through all the kingdoms, and to ask the company of heaven we authorize them to remove all the negativity in order to free the world. And from there we find the Lord Ganesh, the divine director. He's the one who's going to authorize this change. So turn to him. He's the Lord of obstacle. He's the divine director, and all in the heavens are waiting for his command, and he's waiting for the sign from the Supreme Creator. But as we give that sign, we collectively, if 1% of the humanity would do that, everything would change from one day to the next. They're just unaware. And what comes in the future is totally bananas. Which means it's okay to be absurd in all things. It's like life does not always make sense. So it's not about rationalizing what life is. It's about surrendering and accepting. For God, your inner self knows you better than you, and he knows all. It's never forgotten anything about you. So it's about developing this trust in your inner self and tuning into to that frequency within. Well, I hope this resonated with you. The paintings behind me, this is a painting on paper of the portrait of a blonde girl with gray eyes. It's kind of nice, I like it. It's very decorative. And this is an important painting on cosmology, about as everything is done from, I have some magpies that are, the symbolic of the Paradise Center is the only sphere that does not move, and the 21 satellites of Paradise. the central universe, the seven super universe of time and space. Our local universe is part of the seven super universe, and those are the outer galaxies of the future. And then the seven families of spirit beings. Although most of them are paradisical, they work from within, but there is a lot of spirit in the local universe that administer this universe. It's so great. So there are many families, but yet it's only one family. Eventually, we'll come to realize the world, even humans, we are one family. We are all ascendants, children of God, and so that makes us family. We have all the same father and mother, mother, God of our universe. And so I'm going to sing a song. It's an old song from 1967. It went through my mind, so I sing it. It goes like this. We skip the light fandango, turn cartwheels, cross the floor. I was feeling kind of seasick, but the crowd called out for more. The room was humming harder as the ceiling flew away. When we called out for another drink, and the waiter brought his tray. And so it was that later, as the miller told his tale, that a face that first just ghostly turned a wider shade of pale. She said there is no reason, and the truth is plain to see, that I wandered through my playing card, and I would not let her be one of 16 Vestal virgins who were leaving for the coast. And although my eyes were open, they might just as well been closed. And so it was that later, as the miller told his tale, that a face that first just ghostly turned a wider shade of pale, turned a wider shade of pale, turned a wider shade of pale. It's a great song from I think it was Procolarum, the name of the band that sang it. It was a Eurythmics version that is pretty nice as well. Hopefully I'm going to be able to work more with music very soon. The highest wisdom is our master guide. The master guide is the guide of the spiritual path. But the spiritual path is no different than the material path. Everything is one and connected. Our master guide is really the frequency of that person, the celestial beings who is here to keep us online, to teach us about spirituality, to protect us, to assist us in the realization of our destiny. So ask your master guide to be in touch with you through dreams, through visions, through intuition, to get in touch with you, so you can authorize your guides to be more present within your physical reality. They need your authorization. What we need to understand is life purpose. Everybody's looking for a sense of we all need to find sense in our life, and as we move towards more into our mission, our life becomes more meaningful, and then we find greater fulfillment. What we need to do is effort. There is certain effort that needs to be produced inside of us. So every day we're moving closer to this point of freedom. And the outcome is surrender. We're going to be able to let go of all those other things, of this critical mind, in order to trust the soul and to move into this soul frequency that will lead us back home and towards the fusion with our I Am presence. Well, I hope you're having a good day. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.